This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Give us a call if you went on a date with somebody who pretended to be someone else completely.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, maybe you didn't even get to the date, but you're at a bar or you're out and about and you're mingling, and somebody told you that they were something far more impressive
Than they actually were.
Well, but in saying that, you don't need to make up stories. I think, let's be honest, the best thing you can be is yourself.
That's boring.
Oh my,
I was
that
out
is
one
so
time when
No,
I was...
it's not, Fitzy.
I was overseas.
Stick with me here.
No, it's not. That's really boring. I was overseas and I was single at the time with a mate, and he went over to a group of
No
girls.
way. I couldn't believe
What, that he was single?
No, that I was with a mate overseas.
Oh.
And he sold in the fact...
Whipper called him a mate.
Yeah.
The mate called him something
Called him
else
something
entirely.
And he sold into a group of girls that I was like Steve Irwin, but I instead ran a dolphin sanctuary for baby dolphins and looked after wildlife.
Which country were you in?
We're in the US, and it worked a treat.
And they thought you were a dolphin wrangler.
Yes,
Or-
that's exactly right, Jess.
Maybe, does it confuse? And he just was saying that you acted like a dolphin? One of
No.
those really pesty dolphins that do
I
things
wasn't.
to other dolphins that they shouldn't?
No, I wasn't one of those pesty dolphins.
Is it okay to put up a photo of yourself 10 years earlier?
Nope.
I think it is if it's a mistake and you haven't got around to updating your photo.
Oh, come on. There's other radio shows around here that used... Remember they used photos from... God, we're talking
my
15
God.
to 20 years ago.
That's ridiculous when you see those pictures.
Well, but see, in a dating profile, there's always one photo in your photos on your phone that you really rate yourself.
Yeah.
Like you go, geez, the light's really good on that
Yeah,
one.
look hot.
You know what? Who cares if it's 2004?
Oh, I know.
I'm putting it up.
Yeah, I mean, I might
putting
be
it up.
fat with a red face now, but it doesn't matter.
And it's always the photo. You know when your friend thinks that they look good in a photo?
Yeah.
Because quite often you've taken it on your phone and they keep messaging you to send it to
Do you know what's even worse?
You know those photos we took down in front of the Story Bridge
Yeah.
or the Harbour Bridge or something?
Can you flick that through to me?
Could you send it? And then when you don't, they're like, hey, can you send that photo?
Just a reminder. Hey, what about when you see people on Instagram and they have like a smile that they only do for Instagram? There was a girl that used to work here. She did this thing with her face, which looked nothing like her, and it looked better than she actually does in real life. So she'd mastered what her look was, and then you would only see it on Instagram because to talk to her, she looked nothing like that. You're basically putting a mask on.
No, can I get this right? If you Google certain celebrities on red carpets, you know that there is a position that they go to. And I'd love to ask you, Kate, do you sort of turn to the left a little bit? Where do you put the front foot forward? What do you do if there's one shot that you need to do?
I mean, look, Fitzy, you know that...
It's the walk forward, isn't it?
I mean, I look great from every angle, particularly below. No, I mean from there.
Oh.
A funny story, actually. When I went to the Matildas just before Christmas, not the Matildas, but we went to Parramatta Stadium, and Tommy, you got to help me out here because you came.
Was there.
Caitlin Ford was there, Mackenzie Arnold, and Alana Kennedy, right? And so when I listen to this. When I queued up to get my photos and autographs from the girls,
Amazing,
I did have a 9-year-old with me at the time. When I got to Alana Kennedy, I mean, just time flew, and I forgot why I was even there, and we were just chit-chatting and stuff, and then we decided to have a photo.
Mates, yeah.
And you can tell when someone you're having a photo with, you can tell when their best side is the same side as your side. Because you do this like a do-si-do round your partner. Like everyone.
Well, you danced around to your side.
No, what I mean is everyone thinks they're being really subtle, like shimmying their way to their side.
Yeah.
And she said to me, she said, "I've got to go on this side, darling." Babe, I think she probably called me. I've got to go on this side, babe. My left side's my best side. And I said, "Well, that's my good side too." I said, "But that's okay. You can have it."
You have your best
So check
side.
out the photos. I think they're probably on our Instagram. I had to give you my right side. Anyway, that was a story about Alana Kennedy. Up next, moving right along.
We haven't got to the story, have we,
We
mate?
actually haven't got to the story. This whole conversation and this story came off the back of an interview that Drew Barrymore, who I absolutely
I like Drew.
adore, it happened to her. I mean, they're calling it catfish.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, someone just pretended to be someone they weren't. This is her talking.
This guy on my dating app said he was the quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. So I wrote to him and I was like, oh my God, I went to the first practice game. I was so frustrated being a girl from Los Angeles who loves football, and like we didn't have any teams, and then we got 2 teams, and it's nice to meet you. My name is Drew. He was not the quarterback for the LA Rams. He's a musician that thought he was being cute. I was excited to talk about that I had been at the Coliseum, and then the guy was like, hey, Drewski. And I was like, I hate you.
Drewski.
Drewski.
You lied to me and then called me Drewski. I'm not into you.
So he was a musician? Because she's been out with musicians. She went out with the drummer of The Strokes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's not that she doesn't like musicians. It's just that
Just a line.
Well, that's not what he said, and you can't. I don't think you can use it as an excuse. Oh, I thought I was being cute, when basically
No,
you were lying
you've
to get
lied.
the girl to the date.
Yeah, like
Do
a mate
you-
of mine,
okay.
he used to lie and he would say, he'd be at a bar or a nightclub and he'd say, why don't we all go back to my place for a spa? Right? I got a spa.
great line.
I got a spa on the rooftop at home. Why don't we all go back to my
On
place
the
for a drink?
rooftop, yeah,
He didn't have a spa.
or a rooftop.
Not a rooftop either.
Did he have an apartment?
Yeah, he did. But they'd all go back there and go, right, where's the spa? Oh, God, no. Did I say spa? I'm so sorry.
That
What a
is
crazy-
just, but you
so
know,
sorry.
Fitzy, don't you think that if somebody is saying come back for a spa,
That's a bit weird in itself.
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
I used to, you know what I used to do for Tom, right? He'd be single, and I would go up. Tom would be meeting a girl, and then I would turn up at, say, the drinks, and I'd say, so she could hear, hey, mate, good to see you. How was the charity work you did today?
Oh, very
And that would help him out.
No, you didn't.
And I'd go, oh, that's so kind of that. Oh, you did that today after the big donation you made last month? Wow.
You know what's really funny when you tell these stories about Tommy is that you act as though he needs all the help.
He did.
And,
This is the
and
thing.
all of the other people out in
Yeah.
the world know that you're the sad friend.
Not really the sad friend. I mean, I would talk Tom up like there was
Yeah.
no one else on the planet like it. And he is now happily married thanks to me.
Oh, what a hero. What an absolute hero.
Oh, thank you, Jess. Yeah, round of applause for you, mate.
Fits in Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.